Hello and welcome. It is a beautiful Tuesday afternoon here in Southeast Wisconsin where I'm situated, and today it is Taco Tuesday. I'm very excited to be joining you today, and joining me are four of our vendor partners, some of which have never presented at Taco Tuesday, so I'm really excited, and a few of which are longtime WiLS vendor partners that I'm also excited to be able to showcase something new from today. So we're going to jump in with both feet really right away here. So I would like to turn things over to Kyle, who is going to be showing us some features of PowerNotes. Kyle, are you there?
Perfect. Yes, Jeff, I will grab the screen from you right now. All righty. Thank you so much, Jeff. Hopefully you all can see my screen here, starting on a slide, giving a little background on PowerNotes. We have worked with WiLS for a few years now. This is, I believe, our fourth Taco Tuesday that we'll be doing. We're excited to share some new library-specific enhancements for you all today. But for those unfamiliar, PowerNotes is a research, writing, and note-taking methodology modeled on digital best practices and designed for today's learning challenges. So while I will not walk through the entire suite of digital reading, writing, and research management tools, I do want to emphasize some of the new things that we have launching, some of which are in-house features, some are third-party integrations with tools that you all will be familiar with. So jumping into a few sources, I'm going to show you how PowerNotes works from a student's perspective. So when they are assigned a research paper, when students are asked to go read something from the library or find sources on the open web, they typically are faced with a number of frustrating and time-consuming steps. And that's where PowerNotes comes into play. So I have something from EBSCO, a PDF from JSTOR, and something from the open web pulled up. Just to give a small example here, PowerNotes is part browser extension and part cloud-based web application. So anything you do in the web extension will sync in real time to your cloud-based account. So I have the web extension added here in Chrome. It also works in Firefox, Microsoft Edge, and all Chromium-based browsers. You can see that I have a project titled here at the top of this sidebar. You can easily disable PowerNotes by clicking on the extension menu. You never really have to log out unless you, of course, are on a public computer. You can select between the project you are working on, so you never have to leave the source. And even when you want to start saving information, all you do with PowerNotes is highlight the text. So you come over here into the content, you highlight what you want to save, then this box will pop up. This box will show you the title of the project that you are in and your two topics. I just started this project, so there's not much to share, so it's empty. I can easily create topics beforehand, or I can add to this organizational structure as I'm reading. So I can, for example, pop that into the background topic. It'll then guide me to annotate this information. So I can take my notes, and then I keep reading. Let me slide this sidebar out to show you what's happening here. So what I have highlighted is put into quotations so we know it's not ours, and we actually cannot edit that inside of PowerNotes. The annotation field, you can always go back and edit, and that is paired with the quote. So it's great for teaching paraphrasing, how to summarize, how to talk back to the text, all the great things that go with annotation. We will automatically capture a link back to the source. Part of our onboarding process with our subscribing schools is a proxy integration. So on and off campus, permalinks, all those things that students will struggle with and frankly just don't understand. I don't even understand all of it. We will normalize those links. So as soon as you highlight a text from any source in the library, on a PDF, ebook platform, or something on the open web, they will always have a link back to it, and it'll always be paired with what they have saved from that source. And along with that, we will grab a formatted citation as well. So from any online source, we will grab a citation. You can change the format that you're using, or you can preset it beforehand. So that process can happen over and over again. You highlight text, this box pops up. You can annotate this. Come over here, you can start changing topic names. Once you highlight text, that'll be reflected here. You can add new topics. And just a very seamless interface for digital reading, outlining, and of course, you can start adding in your own writing as well. We offer what we call free-form note cards. So you can start adding entire sentences, and we have a very easy to use interface that allows you to move this information around, share and collaborate. You can bookmark entire sources if you don't want to just save a small snippet. There's a lot of flexibility in here. One of the latest features that we've just announced that has caught the attention of a lot of libraries is a integration with discovery layer services. So this came to be when libraries that we work with expressed concern with students not only not knowing how to get to the library, but struggling to use the resources that they could find there. So what we did, we paired our browser extension with the discovery layer used by the library. And now when students go to Google to search, say I do a climate change search, we will run a concurrent search in your library and display the results alongside the Google results. So these are the top 10 results. These are paired up on our end with a demo account. But think this could be with, WiLS University or insert your name university here. We'll show the top 10 results along with a see all results button. Clicking on one of the results, we have SSO, we have other ways to authenticate. It goes right to that source, so it's a seamless experience for the students, or they can click see all results. It'll bring them to the library search page with the search terms still populated, so they can customize it from there. Just a great way to increase visibility and usage for your library. Another recent integration is with SpringShare's Live Chat feature. So what we've done, we've added that button to our own help button here. So in the PowerNotes sidebar, it's red. It can also be found in other locations on the tool. You click the help button. The first option is tech support. That comes to our team. That's for helping troubleshoot any issues. Maybe the citation's not working, something along those lines. 24/7 library help, similar to results from ABC College Library, that can be customized to say results from insert your library name or chat with insert your library name there. So it's a great way to have your LibAnswers or LibChat widget embedded directly into the research process that can be available wherever the students are. They can start a chat if you have a FAQ page here. And even if you do not subscribe to SpringShare's LibChat features, you can actually work with us and we can embed a URL there that might bring them to an FAQ page in your library. We are working to put library resources at the point of need throughout the research and writing process, because students often don't know how to stop what they're doing, go find it in the library. Those are time-consuming and frustrating steps, and we want to keep them on track. PowerNotes also lets you capture images, charts, and diagrams. It works on ebook platforms, PDFs like I'm on here. Pretty much anything that can be opened up in the browser, PowerNotes will work on. It's a great tool for reading, research, and writing. So I'm not sure if there are any questions in the chat. If you do have questions on PowerNotes, if you would like to see a full demonstration of how these tools work, see all the other bells and whistles that we provide, including our project outline page, where you can dig into how you can start to reorganize this information, export it out into spreadsheets or Word documents, or create a bibliography. All of those great features, we'd be happy to walk you through them. We'd be happy to answer any questions. PowerNotes is a fairly new platform, so we're always open to that introduction phase where we can show you what it does. So then down the road, when you're thinking of new citation or research management tools, or even a tool for faculty to facilitate research and writing instruction, PowerNotes can be a great option in the future. So coming back here, I will end it here. Let us know if you have any questions. My contact information is quite simple, Kyle, K-Y-L-E, @powernotes.com. And I want to give a special shout out to Jeff and the WiLS team for inviting us. Thank you so much. You all do an excellent job, and we're always happy to join.
Well, thank you too, Kyle. We feel the same way about you. Very exciting to see some of the new features and integrations. I'm sure that a big part of your user base is in the higher ed area, but I was actually wondering, have you had a lot of uptake in like K-12, primary and secondary education fields as well?
That's a great question, Jeff. And I probably should have covered that. Spot on. Our early customers over the past 6 years or so since we've launched our platform have mainly been in higher ed. However, over the past 2 years, it could be as a result of the pandemic. It could be as a result of just an increase in interest in new digital tools. But we've had several school districts and individual classrooms subscribe to PowerNotes. So if you are a media specialist and you're looking for subscriptions for your entire school, your entire district, let us know. Or if you have a high school English instructor who teaches a semester-wide research project, we also have classroom subscriptions where you can have your entire classroom working together on individual projects. They can collaborate. There's a lot of opportunities there. We just have not yet, as a company, started targeting K through 12. But as a byproduct of our platform, we always have internal or inbound requests saying, is this available? And the answer is always yes. It's just, if you look at our subscribing schools list, only a small fraction of them would be in the K through 12 space. So great question, Jeff. And the answer is yes.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for that, Kyle. We have a very large number of higher ed institutions, but an even bigger number of K-12 members at WiLS, so I'm sure they'll be interested to take a look at PowerNotes. Thanks again for joining us. All right, so I'm going to kind of get us back to our little program here so that I can introduce our next presenters. So joining us today from the page are Sarah and Ben. Sarah and Ben, are you on? Oh, I see you there.
Yes, we're here.
All right. Are you able to share your screen, and then you can take it away?
Let me see what I can do.
Can you see that?
I do see that. Looks good.
Great. So I'm Sarah Brumfield.
I'm done.
And together we're the creators of FromThePage. FromThePage is a crowdsourced transcription platform that libraries, archives, special collections use to crowdsource the transcription of historical documents, to index government records, to create metadata around objects and documents. And we have about 5,000 active transcribers on our platform, but a lot of our institutional partners actually choose to use our platform to do outreach with their existing collaborators, their existing volunteers, maybe students in a classroom, a lot of different kind of uses that are all about kind of collaborative transcription and collaborative description.
So I'm going to show you kind of how FromThePage works, and we're going to do a demonstration on a project run by the Wisconsin Historical Society, which is the Increased Lapin Papers. So since this is a very short demo, we're just going to show the user-facing side. We might speak to how this works for libraries and archives and their staff on the other side. So let's work on transcribing a page. So this is paleontology notebooks, so this is going to be interesting. Schizochrymes, nodos, sus, all, L, N, Y, ball, 1, P, 81, 7.
Bigger one.
Yay.
Body cup-shaped, obtusely, carriage return, pentagonal, comma, spreading somewhat, carriage return, abruptly from the column.
We're just going to stop right there. So we're obviously not going to transcribe this whole page, but what we're trying to do here is show that the transcription interface, we try to keep as simple as possible, because asking people to work with primary sources and transcribe them is really hard enough. So we just try to show the image of a page, and a place for the user to type. So let me save that. And it's incomplete. It's not done yet, so I'm just going to save it.
So I think you misspelled the first word there, which I can't actually pronounce, but I think it should be a U-S instead of an E-S at the end. Do you?
Oh yeah,
agree?
Primus. I'll
Yeah.
do that. It's
And I think you should put a semicolon after the column.
okay.
And you might finish,
Arm.
yeah.
There we go.
save
Finish
that.
that line. And one of the reasons Sarah corrected me here is because we wanted to show that we track all of the work that's been done here. So initially, the Wisconsin Historical Society created the project. That's blank. Then you can see the version that I typed initially. And over on the right-hand side, you see all the material that was added. And then finally, you can see the bits that we did with our revision.
So that's useful for knowing people aren't, seeing what people are doing, but a lot of classrooms use this as well. So they'll have one student do an initial transcription and then another student do a review and a revision, or maybe multiple, because this is a very collaborative process. And so being able to see what each stage of the process looks like is useful.
So as people transcribe, they can leave notes and ask questions. So here's an interesting case also in the increased Lapham papers, in which someone is transcribing this material and they say, oh, wow, all right, there's a table here, there's a chart, what do I do with this? So you see Ginny MC left a note saying, I'm not sure how to handle charts. Immediately afterward, Eric Roscoe responds, oh, here's what I think those are low priority. Yeah, here's what I've been doing. So he was able to see this because all of these questions are surfaced in the activity stream. You can see these notes and these conversations. But moreover, the act of both of these users leaving notes on this page meant that the people running the project at Wisconsin Historical Society saw these notes in their nightly activity emails. So we tried to have these conversations about the material happen on the page where everyone's looking at the same data, but we also try to make sure that it's as easy as possible for institutional staff to monitor this without having to spend all day kind of looking for notifications. So the Wisconsin Historical Society folks could come in, they check their nightly mail, they see that there were questions, and they came in and answered them immediately.
And this is kind of representative of our philosophy of crowdsourcing, which is very influenced by Wikipedia's collaborative knowledge creation, that many people together are smarter than any of us individually.
Right. So we, for all the people who can see a project, and projects can be private, we want them to see as much as possible of what's going on, because people really do pay attention to this material and they want to do a good job. They feel a lot of ownership over it. So text like those paleontology notes aren't the only kind of text that we support. Here are a couple of examples. I'm actually going to start with this one. This is run out of the Maryland Maryland State Archives, and you see that they, rather than having plain text like those letters and paleontology notes, they've configured our project to collect structured data about these birth certificates. So let's come.
It's a marriage certificate.
Sorry, marriage certificate, not birth certificates. So let's take a look at this, and we can probably transcribe it pretty quickly.
Albert M. Mezzolis.
Bob's name is
Doesn't say
Ethel
what to do about Junior.
W. Sterick. And the date was
Date of ceremony, March
Sorry.
23rd.
March 23rd of 1929.
So you'll see here that Maryland State Archives is only collecting that's 8 fields from a certificate that has a lot more, but it's enough to make this certificate findable. They create indexes out of this. And some of these are actually for people who are still living. And we've gotten emails forwarded from the staff there about how proving marriage so that someone could get COVID care went from being this really arduous process of finding a marriage certificate to something they could do in 15 minutes. So it's interesting to see it being used for kind of vital records as well as historical documents.
These are very popular. They run very fast, and you can see they've had 50,000 pages transcribed. The last 7 days, 3,000 of these were transcribed, which is pretty impressive. The same kind of field-based approach is also used by the Indianapolis Public Library. And this is interesting because they're not asking people to transcribe material, they're asking people some structured data questions about their photography collections from the Indianapolis Parks and Rec Department. And so they're fundamentally saying, you see this picture? What park is this taken at? And then, could you actually, what did you do
justify
to
your
figure this out,
decision?
right?
Yes.
And it's interesting because there are people who will post pictures from Google Street View saying, "Oh, I know exactly what this is. Look, these two photos match." It's pretty impressive. Not knowing anything about Indianapolis public parks, we'll skip that. The last of the transcription tools that we want to mention here, and that's not all of them, is for tools like this, documents like this. So this is the Register of Women Who Petitioned for the Right to Vote in Sweden. This is a project run by the Swedish National Archives. And you can see this is kind of hard to do. You wouldn't want to type this up as like we did with the paleontology notes. It's not really a form, kind of is. So for this kind of project, we've got a configuration that supports fields for header information or footer information, but then a spreadsheet in the middle. And this works just about like Microsoft Excel would, where people can type in the names of, Hilda Svensson, who's mentioned here, and anything about her title. So that is the limit of what we want to demo on this brief call. We're always happy to jump on the phone with people and do calls, dive into your material.
So we do monthly webinars because we know that crowdsourcing is new for a lot of people. So we have this content.fromthepage.com/webinars always has our upcoming webinars. We've got 2 in the next couple of months, one on crowdsourced indexing and another one on genealogy collections. The second one's going to be fun because we're going to do a roundtable with 3 or 4 archivists and librarians that run projects on From the Page to talk about kind of how they engage with genealogists and genealogy collections in a crowdsourcing sense. If you have any questions or you'd like to get in touch with us, you can reach me at Sarah, without an H, at FromThePage.com. And Ben's available at
Ben at FromThePage.com.
So very easy.
All right.
Any
Open up for any questions.
Oh, sorry, I was having trouble unmuting myself. Thank you so much. What a cool resource. I confess I hadn't seen From the Page before just now, and I am incredibly impressed with the tool that you've built and the product that you've got there. I had a question for you. So it would seem like that sometimes you're going to have resource holders that want to mount a project to your platform, but it needs some kind of customization, kind of this thing we saw here, like we want this one to be fields or whatever. How, is it reasonable for me to ask, how does that work? How does someone come to you and say, the templates that I see don't really fit the project I have in mind? What do they do?
Yeah, so the short answer is we do onboarding calls with everyone. So we will walk you through whatever you need to get your project up and running successfully. The longer answer is we actually have form builders where you can, drag and drop, create fields, drag and drop lines from, one line, fields from one line to another, add a spreadsheet, specify which columns and what types of columns you want in your spreadsheet. Our field-based stuff, we have about 4 or 5 different types of data, right. Text, dates, longer text, pick right. lists, or, select controlled vocabulary, things like that. So we try to give you the tools that you need to make it work.
And all 3 of the structured data examples that we showed, the Indianapolis Public Library one, the Maryland State Archives one, and the Swedish National Archives one, those were all built through the application by the librarians and archivists without any intervention on our part.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really impressive. I think it's super cool. Thank you so much for joining us today. One little extra piece of information I'll throw in is that From the Page is one of WiLS order direct vendors, which means that we have a relationship with them in that they will provide kind of discounted access to our members, but your order won't go through WiLS the way a a lot of our other resources do. So you would contact, I believe, From the Page directly and just identify yourself as a WiLS member and go from there. Is that right, Sarah and Ben?
That is correct. Yep.
Okay. Super. That's really great. Thanks again for joining us today. I'm excited to hear more about how things go with our members and From the Page. Hopefully, this session will sort of bring some new members over to you. We're a little bit ahead, but that's okay because I would like to get us reset to our welcome screen again. And hopefully everybody's seeing that. So it is Taco Tuesday. We're here about halfway through our session today, and we're moving on to our next presenter, which is joining us from Gale. We have Courtney. Courtney, oh, I can see you there on the screen. So why don't I stop my share so that you can take over?
Sounds great. All right, I'll share my screen. Start my slideshow. Thank you so much, Jeff. Yeah, thank you for letting me be a part of Taco Tuesday. I'm so excited to be here. As Jeff said, my name is Courtney Stylen, and I'm with Gale. And I cover the K-12 Wisconsin schools. I'm one of the main contacts. And a fun fact about me is that I'm a former educator, and my first teaching job was in Wisconsin at Milwaukee Public Schools. I taught 7th grade reading and math. So I absolutely am thrilled to partner with the Wisconsin schools, but I'm also biased. So there's that. Okay, perfect. So today I want to use my time to highlight 4 new and exciting things from Gale. I had to narrow it down to 4, but these are things that are sparking some really great conversations out in the schools. The first highlight is I want to talk about our 2 most popular databases right now, and they're called Gale in Context Opposing Viewpoints and Gale in Context Global Issues. The second highlight is I'll talk a little bit about our ebook platform and specifically how we are helping get resources for mental health and wellness into the schools. The third highlight is some really exciting updates on our partnership with National Geographic Kids. And the fourth highlight is our Gale in Context resource for educators. Okay, so I'll make sure I'm using my time and I'll go through those 4 things. Let's start with the first one. Okay, so our Gale in Context databases. I would say this is probably what we're the most well known for is our databases. We have a suite of 10 right now. Actually, we're about to add an 11th of our databases called Gale in Context. We're adding Gale in Context literature by the end of this year, so that's exciting. But anyway, our databases are really, I would say, what we're really well known for. And this is where we have all of our current engaging content available for students all across the levels. We have 10 databases and they fit into elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, and we also have our Gale databases in 98% of the top colleges. The nice thing about that is our platform is very similar across all of them. So once you're familiar with one of them, you are familiar with all of them. And so we are constantly updating the platform and the functionality of it. It's really, I would say the best thing about it is that it's so easy to use for students to get that engaging content as they're learning their research skills. One of the most popular features of our databases that I hear time and time again is the fact that you can pull content, highlight, take notes, and then push it out across your LMS, send it to yourself over the Google Drive, or send it to someone else and keep those highlights and notes. And we have citation tools built in, and a couple of the new updates lately one of them is we're constantly adding more language translations. So at this point, I think we're up to 46 different language translations within the database. And that's not only text, but audio as well. And our newest feature that we've added is our dyslexic font. So now students who have dyslexia can go in and change all the content through a setting to this specific dyslexic font that helps them read easier. So that's sort of an overview of our database platform. And the two Gale and Context databases I wanted to highlight are, the first one's called Gale and Context Opposing Viewpoints, and the second one is Gale and Context Global Issues. Both of these are geared towards middle school and high school level. The first one is Gale and Context Opposing Viewpoints. And this is just a wonderful database that takes these hot social topics that we're talking so much about today and provides multiple perspectives of these topics. Now, we don't have it where we've laid it out by a pros and cons or left and right. We provide all of the different multiple viewpoints and really encourage those critical thinking skills for students to kind of figure out where that falls. This is a great database because it hits so many courses across the schools. If you think, I think we get the most usage out of like our English courses, social studies and science, anything where you're getting or you want that current content, because these databases are updated 5 to 6 times per day. So they're also great for like current events and government courses as well. So that's Opposing Viewpoints. And the other one I wanted to highlight is called Global Issues. And these pair really well together because we have the opposing viewpoints, and now Global Issues expands these topics out globally because we pull from 334 different newspapers from around the world. So now you're getting the global perspective of all these social topics that we talk about in our country. And now you're hitting business courses, climate change, environment. So you're also, again, another one where you're hitting a lot of different courses across the schools. And like I said, they pair really well together because if you own both of these databases, you can not only search within each of them, but they're also cross-searchable across both of them at the same time. So if you're a student doing a research project on climate change, you're going to get the opposing viewpoints, multiple perspectives from our country, and then you're going to get all of the global viewpoints as well, all in one place. So that is exciting. Okay, so that's the first highlight. The second highlight is our ebook platform. And this is, if you're not familiar, our ebook platform is a little unique because you purchase one ebook and it's a one-time purchase, and then you own that content forever. And then you get access to multiple users, simultaneous, unlimited access, 24/7. So it's a really great way to add content in where maybe you have gaps. We also have a group of former educators that have taken our ebook title list and created collections. So if you, for example, I'm working with a media specialist right now who wants to add content specific to middle school geography. So I have sent over our collection for her to take a look at, and she can decide, okay, do I want to purchase the entire collection, or do I want to just pick and choose topics that we're looking for? So it's just a great way to do that. A lot of schools use our ebook platforms to provide professional development titles because we have an absolute huge selection of that. And another way to use our ebook platform is, oh, is this advancing? Go through the, oh, oops. Okay, there is to use, we've partnered with a Cameron K. Gallagher Foundation. And so we have taken a collection of mental health and wellness resources. And so this is where we've hit lots of titles that cover anxiety, stress, depression, LGBTQ, yoga, all of these mental health and wellness resources, and we've, with them, created this collection. And what you can do is you can give students access to this collection with a QR code so that they can access it immediately, and you can set it up so they don't need a password. So it's private, anonymous access to all of these resources. We have a collection that is geared towards the middle and high school level, and then that's called the Cameron's collection. And then we also have a collection called Cameron's Camp, which is geared towards the elementary students. Okay, so now on to our number 3 highlight is I wanted to share some exciting updates with our partnership with National Geographic Kids. We are so excited because we have finally convinced National Geographic to let us take their content and put it onto our platform. So now you can purchase a National Geographic Kids add-on as a separate database, and you get all of their content on our platform with all of that functionality. And you get their magazine, past subscriptions to all of their magazines, the books, those weird but true books that kids love so much, tons of videos, and all of those vibrant images that they're really well known for. All of that is now on our platform. So we are so excited about that. And not only that, we have also given the option where if you already own our Gale and Context Elementary database, and then you purchase the National Geographic add-on, it will now sit inside Gale and Context Elementary. And so you can see on the screen, if you go to the right where it says videos, if you add the National Geographic add-on, that will sit there as a button, and all of that information, all of that content will be in one place. So very exciting. Okay, now on to my 4th, checking the time, I'm good. On to my 4th and final highlight from Gale. This is a resource called Gale in Context for Educators. And here's how it works. We basically take all of our Gale in Context databases. We have 10 of them right now, as you can see all of them on the screen. And we've taken them all into one big suite and provided access to educators with a single entry point search so that they can pull from all of these databases with a simple search. What they can do is they can pull content from any of these, add this to a folder, and then share that across their LMS, their Google platform, or wherever their school is using. They not only can pull from all of this content, they also have their own content added as well, which is in the form of lesson plans and activities. So they can build these folders, and they can decide when they want students to have access to them by turning them on and off. And they can also it's really meant as a tool to help save teachers and educators time. And so they can create these folders very easily, and they can also filter the content down by type, like topic, by content level, and then also by lesson plan type. So we have built-in lesson plans that are good for inquiry-based learning, or I want a hands-on activity. Then you create these folders, and then even within that folder, you can create another folder for maybe some lower level content. Maybe you have students that are at a lower level, or you have students at a higher level. So you can create little compartments within the folders as well. So as a former teacher, I am so excited about this because I can just see how much time it would have saved me. And we also have all of the Wisconsin standards and all state and national standards loaded in. We have SEL content, social emotional learning content. We have CTE. This has been around since 2016, and we've been winning awards on this every year since. Just in the past month, we've won Best Lesson Plan Tool. And so that we are just so excited to talk about this, so excited to offer this. We've implemented it in small schools, large schools, and entire districts, and everything in between. So if you have any interest, I would recommend setting up a presentation. I know I'm a visual person, and so it would be I think it would be helpful to set up a presentation and see how it might fit into your school or your district. So that gets me through all my 4 highlights that I wanted to cover today. Thank you so much for letting me present today. And I look forward to hearing from anyone if you have any questions, any feedback, or you want to tell me what books you're reading, because I love to talk about that too. I am so excited to meet everyone.
Courtney, thank you so much for joining us. And what a great job of kind of distilling and summarizing just a universe of resources and great material for our members down to a 15-minute session. I think that's great. For those of you watching will probably know Gale is one of our longest running partners, and we do a tremendous amount of work with Gale, especially in our K-12 member libraries, which is Courtney's special area. So really anything you want to know about Gale, please reach out to us, reach out to Courtney. We do a lot of work together, so I'm sure that Courtney can help find the right resource for your faculty or students' needs, whatever it may be. We've started to see some schools adopting the For Educators package, which is really cool. And I think that's a great value as well. So thanks again, Courtney, for joining us today. And we will, share your contact information far and wide, and we will for sure be in touch when we hear back from members.
That's awesome. Yeah. And we absolutely love our partnership with WiLS. So we'll hope to continue that for decades to come.
Yes, let's do that. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to take us back one more time to our presentation screen just to set us up for our 4th and final presenter for the day. I can hardly believe we're already coming to the end of another Taco Tuesday, but joining us today from Infobase, speaking of longtime vendor partners. Infobase is another vendor partner that WiLS has been working with for many years, and we do a lot of work together. So joining us from Infobase today is Josh. Josh, are you there on the line?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, which hopefully you'll be able to easily take over and share yours.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. Hello to all our wonderful WiLS partners on my first Taco Tuesday. And forgive me, Jeff, I missed the original opening today, but did anybody mention yet it is actually National Taco Day today?
No, I didn't
Yes.
even know that. I'm ashamed to say. Wow.
I'm so glad I brought it up. It is. I was looking yesterday. I told my wife I had this presentation today, and for some reason it popped up in my phone that today is National Taco Day. So this is like Supreme Taco Tuesday for WiLS. It doesn't get any bigger than this Taco Tuesday. I'm going to talk about today our newest partnership and our newest resource that's available. It's really unlike anything else out there in the marketplace. It's called Streamable Learning, which has live virtual field trips. Before I do that, I do want to quickly look at something called Learn 360, which many of our partners already subscribe to. So if I share that quickly, you should be seeing Learn 360 right now.
Yes, we are.
And the reason I want to bring this up for our schools out there that subscribe currently to Learn 360, this is where streamable learning will live for you. For those of you that do not subscribe currently to Learn 360, you should be ashamed of yourselves. It is something we can talk about maybe in a future Taco Tuesday, but Learn 360 is our flagship resource. It's a multimedia resource. You can see up here close to 190,000 assets in Learn 360. And it's not just video. We have games and activities, printables, audio, We even have some of our old school folks will remember the mailbox. We have that digitized inside of Learn 360 as well. All of these sliders are fully customizable. We have quiz features where you can now write your own quizzes inside of the videos. So there's a lot of great things inside of Learn 360. But the reason I bring it up today, you'll find premium content inside of Learn 360 over here with this star, and that is actually where you can access streamable learning. For folks that do not have Learn 360, you can go directly through us and you'll access streamable learning on its own, which is the resource I'd like to look at right now. With streamable learning, like I said, I really haven't seen anything like it in the marketplace. It's live virtual field trips. And straight away on the homepage, you can see as soon as you jump on here, it will take you to all of the upcoming live streams. So the way this works, you can see it's pretty self-explanatory. You'll have the grades that the virtual field trip will apply to. You'll have the title of that field trip, who's hosting it, and then the necessary information, dates, times, things of that nature. If I click on one just to get a quick look here, you'll see when you go in, it will give you the program duration. Most of these are 30 to 40 minutes. So they will sit kind of inside a class period for K-12 schools. And then to book the live event, you simply click on book. So the way this works, there's hundreds and hundreds of live virtual field trips throughout the year. The way the calendar is set up with Streamable Learning, you're going to start live field trips right around Labor Day, and then those will run throughout the school year all the way until mid-June. So essentially, it's going to mirror that Wisconsin school calendar. With the field trips, as far as going in and finding them, they make it really simple. You can go through and search by grade level. So if I'm a teacher doing some planning, obviously I can go and click on any grade level that is applicable. We can search by the month. In the school calendar, for many people, there's going to be certain times of the year it's going to be a little more conducive to doing something like this. So we can search by month. And then you can also search by subjects. What's really nice about this, and it kind of mirrors some of the features that Learn 360 has, it is a true district solution because it covers and checks so many boxes. You have K through 12, and you have so many different subjects. So you can go in to book your field trip and search by life sciences, earth and space, physical science, social studies, the arts, ELA and world languages, college and career readiness. And then we also have all of the different monthly themes throughout the school year. So you can go in and search specific field trips all the way through those different criteria. Another thing you can do, if I know I'm doing a project on the Civil War, I can jump in and it will pull everything up. You can see this starts with grades 7 through 12, and this will run all the way through the school year. Again, you just click on it. You go in, all these are tied to state and national standards. And then you go in and book the live stream. With the live streams, which really, really cool. Everything is geared by the teacher. So there's no student data collected. One of the questions we get that's quickly answered, teachers worry about being able to make it during their busy schedule of the school day. There's multiple iterations of the live field trip. So it's not going to just be one block where it's at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday. Most times with these field trips, there's a good 4 or 5 different live field trips of that same trip. So it's easy for a teacher to be able to book it in his or her schedule during that week, that day. Worst case scenario, there's thousands of recorded virtual field trips that are available with the subscription. And you can find that under the recordings. Again, easily search through grade, topic. And then you can also look through the different content partners. There's hundreds and hundreds of content partners around the world. They're constantly adding content. You can see I'm down in Northern Illinois. We've added Chicago History Museum. So a ton of content partners, live recording options, in addition to the live virtual field trips, which have multiple dates and times for the different topics. It's a great way to supplement learning. I have a mother who's a bus driver, so I can attest that there is quite a shortage. So a lot of schools and districts are looking for inventive ways to still get students out of the classroom and kind of get their hands dirty. And this is actually a way, as funny as it sounds, to do that without leaving the classroom. You can go anywhere in the world. It's fully interactable, so the teacher and the students have live question and answer sessions with the subject content specialist, and they fully get to immerse into the experience of the live virtual field trip. Again, it's a K-12 product, covers a lot of different subjects. And those, I want to make sure everyone understands, if you do not have Learn 360, Streamable Learning is still available to you. Those that currently subscribe to Learn 360, it's something that you can access directly through that premium content. Actually, those of you that have Learn 360 right now can do that. There's a couple of free virtual field trips that you can schedule, and a couple of recordings that you can view now as part of kind of our outreach to get this resource to folks. I put my email and cell in the chat. And then of course, please reach out to WiLS for any trial questions, pricing question, things of that nature. I appreciate it, Jeff. Again, I feel honored to be a part of this historic Taco Day. So thanks for having us on. We appreciate WiLS support.
Josh, thanks so much for joining us. I think today's Taco Tuesday, not only is it cool because it matches up with National Taco Day, but I think we've seen some really cool stuff today, including streamable learning, which I think that what an innovative idea to be able to still provide classrooms with these kind of field experiences, even if it's not feasible for a class to go to one of these places for whatever reason. So I think that's a tremendously cool product that I'm excited that we're able to partner on with Infobase. So that actually does bring us to the end of our Taco Tuesday session for today. So I will say thank you to all of our presenters. Thank you to all of you who have joined us, whether live or on the recording. And I will, as always, remind you that Taco Tuesday is a monthly feature here at WiLS. So we are excited to have another one lined up for you next month on November 1st at this same time, 11:30 a.m. Central. And you can register for that at wils.org. And we are already getting registrations for next month. So thanks again to all of our presenters and all of our viewers, and have a great day. Bye.